Happy fall, y'all, and welcome back to Royalty Soaps. It is so funny to me that happy fall, y'all is like a pop culture phrase now, because when you live in Texas, people just say that. It's not like a kitschy thing. It's not something you would wear on a t-shirt. It's just like, happy fall, y'all. It's just something that they say. And I think that's hilarious. As you can see, I have included my fall decorations in the background. And today we will be making a very autumnal soap. Now, I have amended this soap design. Here is the original. It was actually a fan design from a couple of years ago. I loved it, but I wanted to turn it into an artisan soap. I wanted to knock the frosting off, keep all the little embeds, make it a low top. And that's what we're doing today. So without further ado, let's make some soap. Let's get this party started. This autumnal party, I should say. Pour in our lye water solution into my base oils, which you can mix up yourself with the free recipe below, or you can purchase pre-blended at makesy.com. Now I'm gonna blend until just past emulsion because this fragrance oil is, it's a little misbehavey. You're about to be in this with me for the long haul because all layered soaps take longer, but if you do any sort of cocoa powder or mica line in between, they take even longer. I have 5 different layers for this soap. Even though I have been making soap with these white pitchers for a very long time, I still get asked where they're from. Are you ready for my fancy schmancy answer? The answer is the Dollar Tree. I have been using them for years, and let me tell you, nothing compares to these pitchers. They work so well and they're so cheap, so it's a win-win. Last bucket here, and then I'll top off the others. Yes, this is going splendidly so far. Nothing like a bit of fall crafting to really get you into the mood. I was just thinking I should watch Poldark again. That feels like a very autumnal TV show. I'm gonna scrapey out my big container. We're not gonna be using our big container again. This big container, by the way, is from 𝘠𝑪𝑡𝑒𝑟𝑎𝑛T. And now we're going to do something a bit unusual. I do have 5 different colors to add, but because the fragrance oil kind of speeds things along, I'm going to take these 4 off of the table and we're going to work 1 bucket at a time. Like I said, it's going to take a while, but the results will be worth it. All right, let's zoom y'all in a little so that we can really focus on this first bucket. To the first bucket, we are adding some brown oxide. I get mine from TKB. All the girlies that make lip gloss have discovered TKB recently, and I'm so glad to see that they are getting the love they deserve. Last time I worked with this fragrance, it riced on me, so I'm gonna pour this in and then I'm gonna blend quick. Wait, why is this behaving so well? Last time I did this, it was a major flop. I literally have video evidence of this in some short form content because it turned out so bad. What is the deal? Well, honestly, what am I complaining about? Oh no, it's going a little too good. Let's go ahead and pour this base in. Now, as you can see, it is getting thicker, but I mean, I'm really not seeing any of the same problems that I experienced last time. Honestly, great. I like to be over-prepared. All right, I'm gonna scrape off the stick blender a little bit better because I have the time to. Then I'm going to texture this with my big fat popsicle stick. You can also get these at certain dollar stores, at Walmart, Amazon. They're really effective for making some very good textured layers. Any other fall TV shows I should watch? I can't do Gilmore Girls, y'all. I'm sorry. I tried it. In fact, I watched all of Gilmore Girls. I kept sticking it out because I thought that people would be less bratty. It never happened. I always see that as like the top recommendation for fall watches though, so I need something else. Now I'm going to take a little bit of organic cocoa powder. This is a really brown layer, so it may not show up as well between this one and the next one, but it will show up a little bit and that's what counts. I'm using organic cocoa powder. This is from Amazon. You can get it from any of your favorite soap suppliers. Almost everybody carries it. And then just using, again, a tea strainer. I got got at the dollar store. This really helps get an even coating on this layer. And I typically, for a slab mold this big, which is 14 by 14, have to fill up my little tea strainer twice to get a good amount of coverage that'll actually show up in a cut bar, but still be sparse enough that my layers won't crack and separate. Now, of course, when I edit my video, there's a lot of stuff we cut out. There's a lot of dead time where I'm not talking. So if you're wondering how long it takes me to make about 54 bars of soap, I do have a video where I ended up kind of timing myself. For a batch like this, it's gonna take a lot longer. So I'll tell you the total amount of time when we get to the end, after I've placed the embeds, after I've spritzed it, like when it's completely done, start to finish, not including prep. And I bet the time is gonna surprise you. This is definitely going to be one of my most time-intensive batches of the year that we will make multiples of, and that looks about right to me. If this was my only cocoa powder line, I would wipe everything down, but because it's not, I'm actually just gonna keep filling and then do one big clean off at the end. Our next layer is a very bright yellow. Once again, add in my fragrance oil and blend it all up. This looks awesome, very vivid and bright, and I think that by tomorrow it will have faded to the shade that I want it to be, because it is looking admittedly a little like mustard right now. As a soap maker, we always have to remember that lighter colors fading is kind of inevitable, so we have to add a little bit more than we think we need. Gonna scrape this all out. I don't need anything for the top. All right, let's go ahead and texture it up. Not too much, because I don't want to disturb that mica line underneath it. It's really easy to go overboard with this. Time to start dusting. It's going to be a lot easier to see this line. Last year, I remember seeing a soap maker that shared her autumn soap on TikTok, and she was ripped to shreds in the comments. People did not like it, and I thought it was such a pretty soap. Honestly, I think some of her colors look like what I'm doing this time, so pray for me. The comments section may be brutal on my TikTok. I think we need a little more on this one because I just think the effect is going to be dramatic. 2 layers down, 3 to go. There's cocoa powder everywhere. Next layer here is orange. It's more of a pumpkin-y orange than, I don't know, an orange fruit orange, I guess. Blend this up zippy quick. In real time, I have been working with this batter for 25 minutes, so it is starting to set up and get a little thicker with each layer. But that ought to just show you, if you're a new soap maker, you're not doing, 5 layers and all these different mica lines. You're doing a 2-color in the pot or something. You have got plenty of time to work with my recipe. What time is it? Time to texture. All right, time for the mica line. This will be another layer that I feel it will show up really well for. Oh man, I am winded. Second to last layer here, this is our red. Gonna kind of mix it in real quick so it doesn't glub all to the edges. This layer, I'm going to try to mix the fragrance oil in by hand just to see if I can get it to be a little more manageable. All that stick blending can speed things along. All right, now we're gonna pour in this layer. Little bit more manageable than the layer prior, and I think that's because I blended in the fragrance by hand. But all in all, still not grainy, still very workable. All right, I'm gonna spread this out, make sure that everyone is getting an equal amount of red here. Texture, texture, texture. All right, last mica line, thank goodness. All right, last layer. All right, this is pretty thick, I'm not gonna lie. This is a gorgeous like burgundy maroon shade. And again, I'm gonna do this entire layer by hand. The last one, I actually mixed up the color with the stick blender and then I just mixed in the fragrance, but at this point, I better not take any chances. I don't know though, I feel like it still needs a little bit more blending. I guess I'm gonna give it a shot. Sometimes I blend just because the texture doesn't seem quite right. That's why I blended that one. It looked a little like applesauce, I would say, and that is not the texture you want. You want it to be really smooth. Whew. Last layer, last layer. All right, goal for this layer, to get a swirl on top, to add a bit of glitter, and then get all those embeds on. This is a layer that I'm going to tap to make sure that the soap spreads out evenly. All right, great. Whew, okay. Now I'm going to take a little bit of bronze mica. Now I've got my slab grid and it's time to mark everything. And you know I'm going to give it the Caleb special because me trying to place over 100 embeds on this soap by sticking them in on this slab grid, like one at a time, no. And this is definitely thick enough to make a good little mark on each one that's easy to see. Okay, are y'all ready to see all the embeds? Here are all of our cutie little maple leaves. I am obsessed with these. I think they are the perfect addition. This is going to take forever. So let me just do a little movie magic and just like that, everything has been added. Isn't that cute? The only thing left for me to do is to spritz the top with rubbing alcohol to lock in our embeds, our glitter. You can tell I added some gold to the top of this soap. I just felt like it was needed to make a delineation with these reds and the red layer they're sitting on. I wanted you to be able to see it really well. I keep going back and forth on what I'm gonna name this. I thought like falling leaves or autumn leaves. I kind of don't want to just put it in the autumn time though, so maybe we'll go with falling leaves. All the same, I'll let this sit for about 18 to 24 hours-ish, let it set up. If it needs a little longer, I'll wait a little longer. Then we'll split our slab into individual loaves, cut those loaves into bars after this quick commercial break. Oh man, this soap is so good. Really glad I went ahead and put that gold dusting on top. The leaf detail is crazy, and just the bar design in general is so pretty. The only thing I did end up changing just a little bit was I darkened up this top layer. I made it even more of a maroon. Because right now, you can tell in real life the difference between this brown layer and this maroon layer, but probably on camera they look really similar. I have to be really careful when I'm lining up any cuts with leaves. They are a little bit too big. A little tiny bit will end up being cut, but not enough to matter. Pull one out of the middle and you can see how pretty this is on the inside and why it is so worth my time to do a mica line between every single layer. It is so impactful in a finished bar. Like, look at that. That's so pretty. And the fragrance is perfect. Cranberry and orange is a really good bath and body scent. A lot of fall fragrances I don't feel translate well to bar soap. Like, you want to smell it in a candle, you don't necessarily want to bathe with it. This is not one of those fragrances. This fragrance feels like it was made for a soap, not for a candle. Here's our little sample pieces. Again, these are going to be really super pretty samples this month.
I have a question of the day.
Oh boy, let's hear it.
This one's kind of gross.
Oh, why would you do that?
Would you rather have spaghetti for hair or maple syrup for sweat?
Yeah. What? Caleb, what is wrong with you?
It just comes to me. I don't know.
Maple syrup for sweat.
You don't want spaghetti. You want floppy spaghetti. It always stays
tame. In humidity.
Tame. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but it can't be styled, and it would break easily.
No. It has the tensile strength of normal hair.
Ah, now you're making stuff up. That wasn't the original question.
We have to establish all the unknowns.
Okay, well, I'm still here for maple syrup sweat, okay? Maybe I wouldn't be so stinky when I exercise.
But you'd have to take a shower
every single time.
Every single
even
time.
Even a little bit of sweat.
Yeah, if you walk outside, if you walk from our house to the studio,
worth it.
You'd have to take a shower.
Oh, worth it. Worth it every time.
Yeah.
This soap will be available with the rest of the SKYGAZING collection on Friday, October 4th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is the final soap release before we launch our holiday collection. And believe me when I tell you that I have something for everyone. Y'all are going to love the soaps this month. I have a couple throwbacks. I have a couple that I have been working on for a very long time, like the Daydreamer soap. It's just gonna be a lot of fun, so stick around for some more soapy content. Be sure you do something fun for yourself today, whether that's going out, gazing up at the sky before you go to bed, making up maybe a little story about what you see. But you know, I don't really care what you do. Just do something for you, and I will see you guys in the next video. And if you're not following me on Instagram, I have a personal Instagram and I have a Royalty Soaps Instagram, and trust me, I am doing something very, very big this week for me, and I want you guys to be the first ones to come along with me on this very exciting adventure that I can't talk about on YouTube yet, but all the people following me on Instagram will be the first to know what I'm doing. Have an absolutely royal day, and until next time, bye for now. Meow.